the WNBA may be facing its biggest crisis yet. And it all started with a video clip that sparked one haunting question. Is Caitlin Clark signaling that she's done with this league? If that turns out to be true, it could send everything spiraling. The signs are piling up, and the sense of urgency is spreading fast.
Anyway, I'm puzzled by what's going on, because now I'm starting to ask, is it Caitlin Clark that's setting out games, or is it the Indiana Fever making Caitlin Clark set out games?
Do you think Caitlin Clark might actually be thinking about walking away from the WNBA? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, because right now, we could be witnessing the first cracks in the league's foundation. And let's be honest, they have no one to blame but themselves. Everything started unraveling when that video surfaced of Caitlin casually kicking around a soccer ball while she's supposedly sidelined with a groin issue. Now look, I'm not a medical expert, but if she can move her leg like that, it doesn't scream injured to me. But honestly, that's not even the main issue anymore. What really matters is what this video represents. It has WNBA executives deeply worried. So, let's break it down. Caitlin has missed 13 games this season due to what the Indiana Fever are calling a groin issue. Holly Rowe went on air and said she won't return until the 3rd week of August. That's 3 more weeks for a groin strain. Then the soccer footage emerged, and suddenly everyone started asking the same thing. What's really happening? Because let's be honest, when someone who's supposedly too injured to play pro basketball is casually kicking soccer balls around, it raises eyebrows. Is the injury the full story? There might be more going on than the team is admitting. Maybe Caitlin Clark has simply had enough of how she's been treated in this league. Consider this, she's only in her 2nd WNBA season. And what has she received in return for becoming the league's top draw? She's taken cheap shots from opponents, had refs ignore clear fouls, and even been hung out to dry by her own team. Eventually, even the most committed players start asking whether it's worth it. This video isn't just about whether she's hurt, it could be a message. When a player shows off skills in another sport while her basketball team is struggling, it's hard to interpret that as "I'm eager to return." And what makes it more troubling is the contrast with how other major leagues handle injuries. In the NBA, when a top-tier player gets hurt, the franchise spares no expense to ensure a safe and swift return. Elite medical staff, strategic rehab programs, and constant updates for fans are standard.
The Indiana Fever posted this about Caitlin Clark to give the official what is going on with Caitlin's injury. So they said Caitlin Clark underwent further medical evaluations earlier this week, which confirmed that no additional injuries or damage was discovered. Clark will continue working with the medical team on her recovery and rehabilitation with the priority on her long-term health and well-being. There is no timetable available for her return. But I do think it's interesting that ESPN has listed August 12th as a possible return date for Caitlin Clark. But the internet noticed something specific that Holly Rowe had to say on the broadcast. Holly Rowe said that before the last return after a quad injury, she had no practice time, which, if that's actually true, if she wasn't practicing, if she wasn't going full speed, then why was she returning to the court? And that's actually something that I pointed out. I believe it was Scott Agnes reported that Caitlin had gone full speed in practice, but there was only one practice that she had gone full speed, and then she returned to play. So it seems like this time around, the Indiana Fever is being much more cautious. Everybody is kind of circling this mid-August date for her return. And we just have to hope that when she comes back to the court, she's able to play like Caitlin Clark again, because I feel like we've only seen just a couple games this season of the Caitlin Clark that we all know and love, and the Caitlin Clark who is reaching her full potential on the...
In contrast, the WNBA seems to be keeping its most valuable player sidelined longer than necessary while offering vague updates about being cautious. It feels like they don't recognize the asset they're mishandling. Let's take a closer look at how the Indiana Fever have managed this. It's been nothing short of a mess. Stephanie White even admitted that the last time Caitlin returned from injury, they skipped any kind of ramp-up period or conditioning. She was just tossed back into the lineup. What professional team does that to their most crucial player? And now they say they're taking a more careful approach. More careful? As in, actually treating her like a person and not a disposable tool? How generous of them.
This groin injury, and how much of an absence do you expect from her beyond today?
Yeah, late last night. I think it's very much a day-to-day thing, how she responds to treatment. I stay in my lane and let our strength and conditioning and our physical, our AT staff do what they do best. But yeah, I found out late last night, and then we'll treat it day to day.
Back-to-back a factor at all with that?
I mean, I don't know if it's a factor from a physical standpoint, from an athletic training standpoint. Certainly in my mind, it is. But at the same time,
This kind of poor decision-making would never fly in other professional leagues. Can you picture the Lakers doing this to LeBron James? Or the Chiefs letting Patrick Mahomes be managed this recklessly? Front office heads would be rolling within days. But here's the real kicker. While Caitlyn's being held out with a so-called injury, Stephanie White is busy praising Dana Bonner, a player who manipulated her way out of Indiana to go play for Phoenix. Section 5. White went on about how Bonner is the perfect fit in Phoenix and how comfortable she looks with her new team. Meanwhile, their actual franchise player is benched with a strange injury that somehow lets her play soccer, but not basketball.
Might still be very similar. It's a different group, and things are happening quickly, and being able to mesh. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I think we've seen that in sports for a long time. At the end of the day, my priority for DB personally is that she's happy, right? And so there is a lot that goes into trying to make things work on the floor, certainly, and it didn't work the way necessarily that we wanted it to. And sometimes when that happens, a lot of other things come into play. So, I'm disappointed, but I love her and I will always want the best for her.
The optics are a total disaster. The coach is gushing about someone who left the team, while the true cornerstone of the franchise is treated like fragile glass. And fans aren't blind. The backlash online is only growing. Comments and posts keep piling up, slamming how the Fever are handling Caitlyn. People are wondering why she'd even want to return to a team that doesn't seem to respect her value. The fan reactions say it all. Social media is buzzing with people asking whether Caitlyn should even stay in Indiana. Some are calling for her to request a trade. Others think she should just walk away from the WNBA altogether. When your own fans begin debating whether your superstar should leave, it's a loud wake-up call that your organization has seriously dropped the ball. And this is where things could really spiral out of control for the WNBA. Because if Caitlyn Clark decides she's had enough and steps away, the league could be facing a major setback. Let's not sugarcoat her impact on the WNBA. She isn't just another rising star. She's the one who brought the average sports fan into the fold. She's the reason arenas are packed. She's why ratings have exploded. The statistics back it up. Games featuring Caitlyn consistently outperform others in viewership. Stadiums fill when she's in the lineup and look half empty when she's out. Her presence boosts merchandise sales instantly. She's become the league's best marketing tool all by herself, and if she decides to leave, all of that momentum could vanish. Without Caitlyn, the WNBA risks fading back into obscurity. Sponsorships will pull out. TV contracts will shrink. All the hard-won gains of the past few seasons could unravel in a heartbeat. And Caitlyn Clark has options. She's young, elite, and clearly able to draw big crowds. She could start a new league, play overseas, or pursue other ventures, and likely earn more with far less stress. Think about the global opportunities for someone like her. European clubs would pay a fortune. She could tour the US with her own showcase events and easily sell out arenas. She might even decide to focus on her other athletic talents, like the soccer skills we just saw. That soccer footage could be a message in itself. She's fit, she's competitive, she's just not interested in this league anymore. It's as if she's saying, "I'm good. I'm just done with all this drama." And honestly, who could fault her? She takes constant hits on the court while officials let it slide. She gets blasted for things other players are praised for, and her own team treats her like she's replaceable while rolling out the red carpet for players who didn't even want to stay.